What is up, YouTube? It is the Ville Outdoors here. Today is August 6th of 2024. I'm here at one of my local creeks and we're going to be doing some multi-species fishing today, trying to see whatever will come up out of this creek. It's been raining a decent amount this past weekend and it's going to rain even more from today and up until this coming Sunday. There's chances for rain pretty much every single day. Main reason being it's very, very humid this week. My glasses are fogging up already. So yeah, we're gonna get a decent amount of rain this week. It's supposed to rain later this afternoon at like 12 or 2-ish, somewhere in that range. So we're getting off to an early start. It's about 8:45 a.m. and I got my Ugly Stick Elite. This is the 6-foot medium light rod, and we got the Shimano Sedona 2500 HG. There is 6-pound Leland Lures SOS trout line on there that is monofilament, and we have the Eurotackle B-Vibe 1.5 inches with the Trout Magnet 1/64 ounce jig head paired with that. I already see a few fish surfacing right over here, and the main goal, we're not really going to do anything too crazy today. We're just going to see what's going to come up here out of this creek and hopefully share with you guys a little bit on how to identify these fish. In my last video we played around with some micro species and I showed you guys how to find them and how to identify them. Now we're going to move up to hopefully some slightly larger species. This is a creek, so it's not going to be insane sized fish, but you know, we're going to be using bigger gear to get slightly larger fish. Most of these fish here that I see coming up to the surface look like they're feeding on little insects, but they'll probably be hungry, getting ready to feed before this storm rolls through later this afternoon. So we're going to toss around the jig and see if we can get some fish out of here. We're going to walk up the creek a decent ways too, see if there's anything out there we can find. But yeah, let's get to fishing. Going to start off casting right up against that down tree over here. Oh, we just had a bite already. These fish are pretty aggressive. Oh, yep, fish already. Alright, so this here is our first fish of the day. And this is a green sunfish. This is not a bluegill, this is not a red breast sunfish, but a green sunfish. Green sunfish have the usual yellow and white margins there on the anal fin, which you can see right. Alright, let's get them right here. And on their operculum flap, which is this little black spot here, they have a little bit of a purplish white outline there. They have the blue raised on the face like a pumpkin seed would have, but their mouths are much larger. So this is a green sunfish here. We're going to take a shot and then we're going to release this guy. Green sunfish going back in the water. He is good to go. Alright, so that was relatively easy. First cast and we got the first fish, the green sunfish. Now we're going to see what else we can get. There's a fish. Let's see what we got here. This looks like another green sunfish, which it is. Similar size to the last one. Oop. There he goes. He's back in the water. There we go, guys. After a couple green sunfish, we got ourselves another species for the day. This is a red breast sunfish. Now, the thing that makes the red breast sunfish distinct is it has this longer opercular flap. This is the opercular flap right here that my thumb's up against. It's longer and bold and black. Not too much of an outline to it. Sometimes it has a little bit of a turquoise outlining here in the northeast. And then males will have this bright orange belly here. But pretty fish. That is a red breast sunfish there, not a bluegill. So don't get your sunfish mixed up. It's not too hard to ID them. So let's get this guy unhooked, take a photo, and release him. Alright, red breast sunfish is going to go back in the water. He is good to go. Alright guys, we got ourselves another species here. This is a smallmouth bass, a very tiny juvenile at that. So compared to the relative largemouth bass, which is also found in the area, the smallmouth bass has a mouth that does not extend past the eye there. You can see that the mouth ends just before the eye. They are overall brownish to tan in color, and these juveniles here in the creek will have a yellowish outline on the fins, yellowish to orange, you can see there. And there's also no black or dark blotches down the side of the fish that largemouth bass would tend to have here. So we're going to take a shot and then we're going to release this guy. Smallmouth going back. He's good to go. So now we are up to 3 species of fish. That guy hit almost right away when casted in this little current flow that we got going on. No smallmouth in the first hole, which is rather interesting. Usually you find the bigger individuals to be hanging out there because you got this current coming in here and then it spills out into this deep pocket up against the wall there, which you would think would be a great spot to just kind of hang out, not waste too much energy and just ambush any food that might be moving in. But no smallmouth there today, just a lot of sunfish. Mostly bluegill were hanging out at the top of the water column. And then we got the red-breasted and green sunfish jigging along the bottom. Those bluegill were not interested in anything artificial, but you have to use artificial at this creek. This is a delayed harvest trout stream, and even at points in the year where it seems like there's no trout here, you still have to be using artificial. Alright, I actually turned off the camera there, but we got our second smallmouth bass of the day. This one's slightly larger than the last one we caught. Fell for the bumblebee trout magnet. A lot of these creek juveniles tend to have reddish eyes too, which is neat. There he is, this little guy. Go ahead and let him go. Give us a nice little splash. Usually smallmouth I find hanging out in the current tend to be a little bit more aggressive than the ones that are just sitting in still water. There's another little guy there. Alright, chill out. There we go. Third smallmouth of the day. Just tiny guys. I think I may have spotted some largemouth bass here. Real tiny ones. Got one. Let's see if I'm right. And indeed I am. So that's another species for the day. That is a largemouth bass. Now here you can see that the mouth extends down past the eye, and it's got these black little blotches going down the side. Now this is a largemouth bass. The largemouth bass was split into 2 species recently. The Florida bass, which is down south, and the largemouth bass, which is up north. I don't know the exact ranges on what complex is found where, but that there is a baby largemouth bass. So let's take a shot of this guy and then we're gonna let him go. All right, largemouth going back, and he is off. Here's another fish, and this is our biggest green sunfish of the day so far. This one is a little bit darker in coloration, but it still has the yellow to orange on the anal fin and the kind of whitish to purple on the opercular flap there. So that is a green sunfish, and of course that largemouth. There he is. And we're gonna let him go. Off to swim another day. That guy kind of jumped out of the water when I hooked him. Thought maybe it was like a little smallmouth bass or something. Oh, there's another fish. This looks like a red breast sunfish coming up. And indeed it is. There he is. You got the longer opercular flap there and the orangish to red belly. These guys kind of got a little bit of red in the eyes too. Pretty cool fish. I've caught hundreds of those little things walking up and down the creeks of Pennsylvania. I've spotted a couple of largemouth bass in this deep pocket here, up by these roots, uprooted tree I should say. So if we jig it in front of their faces, they should take it without much of an issue. So now they're going to be picky, of course. There's a fish. Let's see. Oh, it's another species for the day. This is a rock bass. Now, not a rock fish like some people call a striped bass, but this here is a rock bass. They have larger mouths. They will pretty much eat anything they can fit inside their mouths. And this guy has a little hole in his mouth like he's been caught before. They have a couple different relatives in their family, including the Roanoke bass, the shadow bass, and the Ozark bass. There may be one other I'm missing, but this is the rock bass that we have here in Pennsylvania. They have tiny black dots along the side, overall greenish to olive in color, and they have big red beady eyes. So we're going to go ahead and let him go. There we go. I didn't get a picture of that guy. Whoops. But anyway, that is our 5th species of fish on the day. Another fish coming up here, guys. This is probably the biggest red breast sunfish of the day. There he is. Beautiful fish. Love these guys. Alright, next cast after that, we got ourselves a little smallmouth bass. I think this is our 4th one of the day, maybe. He's got a little infection there on his tail fin, so we're going to go ahead and let him go. We're not going to keep him out of the water too long. There's a better size one I saw beneath this root structure here. He doesn't want to seem to come out and play. Alright, now this guy here, this is a bluegill. Now this is our 6th species of the day. Very small opercular flap, just a black dot there, no outline, and it's got these vertical bars. This is a female. You can tell by the coloration it's not as dark as the males get, and this little blue sheen on the gill plate there, that's what gives this guy the name bluegill. So that is what the bluegill looks like there. We're gonna take a shot. Well, actually I won't take a photo because my phone's in my backpack, and we're gonna release this guy. Got ourselves our 2nd rock bass of the day there on the trout magnet. People call these Google eyes because of how big and red their eyes are. Makes them excellent sight predators. Rock bass, you can tell in the name they like their structure, so you can find those guys hanging close to bigger rocks or any like root structure. They'll hang close to that too, as long as the water's deep enough. Very aggressive species of fish. You pretty much get a bait or a lure in front of their mouths, they'll take it as long as you don't spook them. 2nd bluegill of the day. This one's slightly larger than the last. Once again, this is a female bluegill. Very sharp dorsal spines, You gotta watch those. If you're not careful, they will spine you. He's good to go. Another redbreast sunfish here. We're gonna go ahead and let him go. At this point in the video, I pretty much caught every species of predatory fish that I could possibly get out of this creek, at least on artificial. There's other species that can occur in this creek, like white sucker and even common carp have made their way into this small creek at times, but very rarely would those fish attack a artificial lure, although it's not unheard of. My trout magnet is all busted up, so that's what I'm trying to fix here. Good enough. This is also the farthest I've been upstream and have actually caught a fish. I walked up this way earlier, much earlier in the season, during trout season, and didn't see any fish at all up this way. So I'm checking it out now that it's early August and seeing what exactly can be found in here come the summer heat. Oh, now it's a good, better. Is that a, geez, this is a big old redbreast. Choked the trout magnet. Thought this guy was a little smallmouth bass when he hit. All right. May need a new trout magnet here. This one's getting beat up pretty good. There he is. Go ahead and let him go. There we go. Another nice sized rock bass. Pretty little guy. I haven't been filming cast to catch as much because I realized about halfway through this fishing session that I left my other batteries at home for the GoPro batteries, so I'm trying to stretch this all into one video off one battery here. Guys, look at this jumbo redbreast. This thing is massive. Probably within the top 3 for biggest redbreast sunfish I've caught. That is bigger than my hand. Let's see if I can get the hook out of him. There we go. Sheesh. I think they get a little bit bigger than this, but this is definitely towards the upper end of the spectrum here for this creek. Pretty fish. Big mouth on that for a redbreast sunfish. He is good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to do it for today. It is 11:22, probably 11:23 now, in the morning, and walked up the stream about as far as I'd like to walk up today. It goes on further, obviously, but I don't want to go too far up and having to make a long way back in case a pop-up storm rolls in. So we're gonna get out of here now before it gets rainy or incredibly hot. It's already incredibly hot, but there's not a cloud in the sky, so I don't know if it'll end up raining or not today, but I came here and accomplished what I wanted to accomplish for the most part. I just wanted to catch the different species of predatory species that are found in this creek here in Chester County, Pennsylvania, and share some tips on how to properly identify these fish, because there's a lot of fish on the internet that are not properly identified. So I encourage you to learn a little bit more about your local fish and look into how to determine what's what. That way you're not violating any regulations or anything like that. Some people end up taking fish thinking it's one species when it's actually another, and that's not good for the ecosystem, and it's not good for your wallet in case the game warden catches you with something you're not really supposed to have. So I pretty much caught every predatory species of fish I could out of this creek, apart from the species I haven't seen here in about 6 or 8 years. That includes yellow perch and black crappie, which have been caught out of that spot where I started at in the beginning of this video a while ago, but I haven't seen any since then. And like I said, that was 6 to 8 years ago, somewhere in that range. So it's been a long while since those fish have showed up here, and could be because of the common carp that have also shown up in here from time to time, eating all the vegetation. It might have something to do with it, may not, may have just been a random occurrence, but that's my running theory. So hopefully you guys learned a little something and enjoyed today's video and the fish that we were able to catch. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors, which will probably be shot sometime next week or Thursday depending on the weather, but forecast is a little shaky this week, so who knows. Next week, however, I plan to make a little bit further trips. I like to go to New Jersey to fish the saltwater several more times this year, because there's a lot of opportunity for new species there that I don't have yet. We're at 168 species on the life list. We had 2 new additions come on July 29th, I believe it was. I was out fishing with a friend of mine and I caught 2 new species of fish, the winter flounder and short big eye, which I can put the pictures up at the end of this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.